I think that's fun. Like,
You do?
Yeah. So what's going on with the blender?
So I'm trying to make homemade pesto.
That's fun.
Yes. That's really fun. But currently, let's bring it up on here. Currently, my blender parts aren't like tapping.
The spinny bits.
Yeah. They're not like.
I know my professional
they're not
terms.
clicking into place at the moment, and so.
Won't blend.
It actually won't blend. That is my issue. It's not blending. If I look down here, that's because that's me looking at your comments.
Yeah.
Do. Hello.
To Ruby and Finn's theatre chat show.
We're live again.
We're back.
Woo, 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 woo. I'm pretty sure that I have put the wrong number on almost every live show at this point.
What number this is?
Yeah, well, last week when I was putting up our pre-recorded one, I think I put session 7 and then I put session 4, and this is 7.
This is 7. Okay.
This is
so
7.
I predicted it correctly.
Well, it does say there.
Well, I didn't read.
Week 7. So this is week 7.
That's a lot of weeks.
That is a lot of weeks.
I think we're getting better and better every week.
Do you?
I mean, not last week because we weren't live. We didn't have that live energy.
We didn't have.
But this week, we've talked about a blender. This is proper
Yeah.
theatre chat.
Everyone really cares about my blender.
The comments are popping up about
They are.
Dorothy saying, "Wow, I had the same issues with my blender in '97." So
That's when I was born.
that was a little Easter egg for the fans.
Yes. So a quick audio description for you. Hello, I am Ruby. I am a 24-year-old white female. I've got short brown hair. I'm wearing a white t-shirt with red writing.
I'd say that's a salmon.
Okay. Salmon writing that says girls on it. And I am the artistic director of Animate Theatre Company. We are a theatre company for adults with cognitive and physical disabilities. I myself am a disabled theatre maker and practitioner in Plymouth.
Hello, I'm Finn. I'm a white person. I've got brown hair poking out of my green hat that has buttons on it. I've got oh no, I'm going to be colour wrong. A grey. This is grey?
No, that's
beige.
That is a green.
It's not a green.
That's it looks like just a lighter green than your hat.
Oh, I think we're going to have big debates about that in the comments.
I think you should leave what colour you think Finn's t-shirt is in the comments.
It's the question that really needs to be answered. I've got some stubble and a face. I'm really bad at visually describing myself, but that's it. I am the lead practitioner of Animate Theatre. I'm also a theatre maker, a writer, and mediocre cook.
Did you want to say the exciting thing? As to why we are moving to 5:30?
Time has been moved because I am now part of Right Out Loud? I can't remember the name. Right Out Loud. It's an LGBTQ group of writers run by Downstage Right, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. So, woo!
Yay! So, because of Finn's exciting opportunity, they wanted to be able to do both this and that, and of course, we always want you on here. So, we've moved slightly earlier, so you can still see both of our faces.
But if you're only 3 later on, it will still be here.
It will.
Live. And
it
please,
will still be here.
please, if you have to watch it at 6:30 as a repeat, I'll call it. Please comment anyway, and we'll definitely comment back.
Yeah.
Because it's lovely to hear what you've been watching and what you think about the things we've been watching. Well, watching would be the wrong term for this week, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, I have a question.
No! Finn's dreaded question corner. Do I have to look away while you get the questions up, or are you making up the question?
No, I've got them in my head.
Okay.
Okay, what is your favourite... Out of the two, I don't want to know your favourite season. I want to know which you prefer out of summer or winter.
Oh, no. Because I have a favourite season, and it's not one that you've raised.
Yeah, everyone's always are.
Well, everyone's is either spring or autumn. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was controversial. No, it's not controversial. Out of summer and winter, see, winter's got some of your big celebrations. Yeah. And I think I would rather be cold than hot.
Yeah.
Because I can put more clothes on. But when you're too hot and you've got the sweat and the... Yeah, I think I'm going to go winter.
I've just been saying that because it's very hot.
It is very hot and I'm wearing a hat. And
I'm not sure why.
Who asked me to do that? It's not coming off.
But it is very hot. But really good for before where we were watching theatre out in the cold. At least like now we're in heat, and you can like snuggle down to an evening performance where the sun's coming down, and I think it's a nicer experience.
I like those days where you get a couple of really hot days and you can go out and enjoy it, have a picnic, and then it goes back to being awful. I like that mix.
It rained the other day after being really hot, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, and now refresh, prepare for the next one. But then when it's like you get a week of hotness, I'm like, I'm done. I'm tired of this.
I have another question that kind of relates to something that we are doing as a group. We are filling out the Letterboxd app to find out how many films we have watched. I want to know how many you're on.
I think last time I looked, I was on 1,030, which so far is the most out of our friend group. The Letterboxd app is an app where you curate every film you've ever seen.
And it's really fun.
It's really fun just to remember what films you've seen. I think I've definitely missed a few. I'm sure there's some odd ones. It's easier to add the ones that I'm currently watching.
Are you excited for In the Heights?
I'm very excited for Washington Heights. The film, the musical. I forgot what it was called for a second. I was like, it's called Washington Heights. It's definitely called In the Heights. You're entirely right. I just had a complete... And I do love In the Heights. Like, I saw it on stage. I just like, wait, it's called... What's it called? It's called In the Heights. Yeah, no, you're right. I have the opportunity because of my subscription to see it early on Friday.
Do you?
I do. However, I promised a friend I'd sit with them, so I have to wait. And how dare they do that to me? But I'm very excited.
I know. If you didn't know, it was the show that was Lin-Manuel Miranda's... Was it his first ever show? It was before Hamilton.
I think he came out of college or university.
And wrote In the Heights. So if you like Hamilton, I think you will like In the Heights.
It's more of a traditional musical. It's like less rap focused, less history, less... I mean, it's got Washington in it in a way. Because that's where it's set. Is that anything?
Good job. Good job.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see that because I still like watching theatre, but...
Yeah, it's close enough to be watching theatre, watching a big movie musical. And you don't see enough musicals these days.
No, I love music. I am a musical theatre girl.
Yeah, and no one's making musical films anymore. What was the last one we had? La La Land?
They are making quite
I know
a few,
that's
though.
not true.
They are making
It was The Greatest Showman.
Oh.
Is that the last? Yeah, that feels like the last musical. I mean, films have been cancelled for a long time.
Right. Segment number 2 for all of our viewers.
Segment number 2. Segment number 2. We're moving on from when Fynn forgot the name of a film. It's segment number 2.
Okay, so this week we have been listening to... Have I got this right? Painkiller?
Yeah, you've got everything right so far.
Yeah! Painkiller podcasts, which are mini audio plays. Are you getting your list up to tell me what you've listened to?
I'm just going to have the list of all of them up so I can scroll through. I was listening to the one on the way here.
Listen to that
one. Well, what do you think? I'm early on, but I wasn't sure.
one.
Okay, well, we'll talk about this. So when lockdown happened and there wasn't chance for new writing, they set up applications for people to send in new writing, and they would produce up to 2 people in a thing.
In a month.
2 in a month, and with very good voice actors. I think
really well done.
I think
it's really good.
There's a couple of famous names in there. Miriam Margolyes is quite famous, and I think she did well. And cool. Yeah, so that you've got all of these cool audio plays.
And really good times as well. They're about 10 minutes each.
Another short thing.
I found that really consumable. It was really good to hold my attention, and I did find that really good, and I liked that. But which ones did you listen to? And I'll tell you what I listened to. So
I've done Send Nudes.
Yep.
Bath Time. Sharp. Oh, I didn't do those. I started box ticking. I've done Reach.
Okay.
The Utopians, although I think that one just kind of went through my head. Shadows Burning. Tenants.
You started
Arsehole,
before me though, didn't you?
And then these are the ones I did this week. The ones I did before, I've done Stuff, A Case of Mistaken Identity, The Last Manicure, and I think Smoking Reduces Fertility.
I did Stuff.
I like Stuff. Should we talk about
Hold
them.
on.
Okay.
I'm telling you what I listen to. Box ticking.
Yeah. You really like. I like you've sort of picked out
Send nudes.
random order ones.
Yeah, I listened to the ones that I liked the sound of. And wow, I feel nothing.
Okay.
Those are the 4 that I listen to.
Okay, let's start by focusing on those 4, and then I'll go through some of my other ones.
Okay.
So Stuff. Do you want to give a plot summary for Stuff?
Is that the one where she falls through the ceiling?
Yeah, bathtub
Bathtub
falls
falls
into
through the
the
ceiling.
flat below, and we get this interaction of 2 very different characters discussing the fact that her bathtub's fallen into the ceiling, through the ceiling.
It was my least favourite.
Oh.
But only because I think the others were really, really strong, and not through it's not like I didn't enjoy it. I just happened to be my least favourite because I think the other ones were so good.
So I listened to this one quite a while ago,
Okay.
but I remember it being one of my favourites.
Really?
I liked the weirdness of it,
Yeah.
and I liked because it starts off with, I guess, an odd premise of bathtub falling into things, but then it kind of really over-emphasises what these characters are.
I also really struggled differentiating between the 2 voices.
Okay, yeah. I think that I can understand that.
I struggled a lot being like which of the characters is talking, because it is just 2 older women. To me, they sounded the same, and I struggled with that.
I think because those characters were quite archetypal. Of one has hoards loads of stuff and is very messy, and the other is everything's in place, very clean, very minimalist. I think I managed to keep those differences, but I do understand that being a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
I also think that some of these
Definitely at the beginning as well, when they hadn't really developed character, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
just with like audio in general, for me, I can't always maintain focus.
Yeah.
So I think some of these, like, I kind of understand the premise, but I can't tell you truthfully what happened in the Utopians. So some of them I really know, and some I was like, definitely it was happening while I was cooking pasta or something.
Yeah. That's what I love about audio, is that you can do it on a drive home, you can do it when you're just like maybe sat catching up on your emails, and like I think you probably take in a lot more than you realise, and you probably find that when you talk about it you'll go, oh yeah, no, I do remember that, and it's through that conversation that you can really like remember.
Which was of the ones you listened to was what your more favourite? Or should we just go on to the next one? I don't know.
I think I Feel Nothing.
Okay, I Feel Nothing. I'm trying to remember what I Feel Nothing was. Did I not do it?
This is what happens, I sing in between.
I feel nothing.
Do you see it?
Are you sure I Feel Nothing's a real one?
Wow, I Feel
What?
Nothing.
Oh, wow, I Feel Nothing. That might be.
Yes. It was really interesting.
Oh, yeah, okay. I that one confused me. Okay, I'm going to try and summarise it. A woman is talking about the rules her mother said for having sex.
Yeah.
And she's walking home,
Yeah.
and at some point she turns into a fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cool!
Odd. I like
It's cool!
I like how
and she
odd-
steals a fox!
I like how odd
was
some of
really
these get. That's good. That is fun.
I like when they're just a little like random. It was really fun.
No, that was
I
really
liked
fun,
it.
and the writing in that was really good. I think I'm going to use the oddness as a segue to one I didn't like so much.
Okay.
There's one called Arsehole,
Right.
and it's from the perspective of a toilet, and I was just a little bit like,
I personally am not a fan of that kind of humour, so it's probably one that I
it ends
Not
with like a
super
very obvious toilet line. I'm like, fine. It goes in a weird direction, which I appreciated. Of the spoilers, it murdered someone.
right.
And I was like, okay, that's fun. Toilet murdering someone, that's
Yeah.
nice, but I didn't really want to hear it, if I'm honest. And I'll go from that to one of my favourites, which I'll
Yes,
recommend
yes.
to you now. Just got to find it.
There's
Where
quite a lot,
is
so
it
if you want to
go?
go and have a listen, like there is plenty to go and listen to, like a nice range. So that was.
I really enjoyed Breach,
No.
which I think you should have listened to because it's the only one set in Devon.
Ah!
Rude of you not to.
I genuinely were going off titles. Terrence our seagull.
Seagull! Can we get Seagull on camera? Because they
Um,
might not believe there's a seagull there.
I'm not sure if he will actually appear on camera.
Could I invite him in?
No.
There's a seagull.
There is
there.
a seagull. We have a seagull and we called him Terrence. He's currently out our
I'm
window.
going to be really distracted. I'm going to try. Okay, I'm going to focus on. So Breach is about a woman who comes across a sheep that's giving birth.
Wow!
And
Is it Breach?
It's written in a very like from their perspective, like inside their head, and it's the breaching of the And I just love the way it was written, and I love the like drama of it, and it has quite a good emotional impact, from at least for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That one was like, yeah. Tell me more. Make it an hour.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Did it give birth to a sheep?
Okay. What's the next one I listen to? Box ticking.
Box ticking.
You only listen to a little bit.
Spoil it away. Tell me about box ticking.
Oh, you want me to spoil it?
Yeah, tell me everything.
So, what is your first assumption?
Well, okay, so all I know
Yeah.
is they did some like jokes about not being woke, or some reference to woke. They are I assume just been broken up by a partner, and they have been asked to get the box from their house. They didn't even know there was a box, and they've been told not to open it, and it was hidden in the attic. I feel like I've heard the term "the box" referred to like sexy items, but I assume in this case it wouldn't be, because it's in the attic, and that's not where that sort of thing's stored. So there's another one that had an assassin narrative. So I'm imagining it's like guns and like night vision goggles, and like she used to be an assassin.
Okay. No.
No, it's not. Is it?
What's it called, Finn?
Box ticking.
Yes.
It's a box full of the insect ticks.
No.
Mark sheets.
No.
Box ticking. Ticks.
No.
Box ticking.
You didn't hear the audio that ran throughout the whole thing from the very beginning.
It's a clock.
Close.
Bomb.
Yes.
Oh no! Does he die?
Yes, but not. It's not in the way you expect. It's really interesting.
That sounds really good. Now I shouldn't have spoiled that.
We go through this story, and he's carrying this ticking box on this train, and this woman starts asking questions like, "What's in the box?" And he's like, "I don't know." And she's like, "Well, it's ticking." And he was like, "Why are you asking me like I'm at an airport?" Because she was like, "Did you pack it yourself?" He's like, "I'm just the messenger. I don't know what's in this ticking box that sounds very like a bomb." And
okay, I hadn't got that far. That's really good.
And then he's like, "Wow, I thought it would be bigger." And he's like, "Oh, I always thought about like how I would die." And then like the ticking's getting quicker, and he's like, "Didn't go off. Bomb doesn't go off." And it just stops. So he gets his own bomb.
What?
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, if you want something done, do it yourself." And his bomb goes off. But we start at the beginning being like, "Oh my gosh, this man is holding a bomb." And then he starts to reveal things about himself that make you understand that he is the villain. Okay. And he's not a very nice person. And he starts revealing...
Okay, I like the sound of this one.
It's really good, revealing stuff, being like, "Oh, she was 15, but I didn't know that."
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like it. You don't feel sorry for him when he is like holding this box. You're kind of like, okay,
good.
It's a really like, I definitely would go into if like, give a trigger warning now if you have sensitivities around assault or suicide. Be careful watching it, but it's done in a way that is presented is well written.
I think in general they could probably be better with trigger warnings.
But, yes, yeah, they should be better.
Because they do a little bit of like a summary of the stories, which I kind of do without if you're not going to include trigger warnings.
Yeah.
Because the summaries kind of spoil the vibe a little bit. But
yeah, when they could have just...
If they did a summary that included trigger warnings, I'd understand why
it's needed. And I don't think it would have... Because there's so many conversations where people are like, "Oh, I don't want to include trigger warnings because it will ruin the story." It wouldn't have. It would have just protected people. So
I'm just going to have a quick check and see... I'll check for that one, if they include it in the like words underneath.
Yeah.
Because maybe we just weren't looking.
But you do get to a point where you feel satisfied about the kind of ending of the story, because you worry that you might not be, and it does build to moments where you're like, oh my gosh, it's not gone off, and like it really is a roller coaster journey. So I really like that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that one now.
I would recommend it.
In general, what's your overall thoughts about like this project? Are you gonna listen to more? Or are you gonna recommend it?
I definitely want to listen to more.
I'm
really
definitely
easy,
to box sticking.
really easy listen. It's one that like I wanted to listen to the next one. You know, sometimes where you're like, oh, this, like, how long is this going on for? I have a very short attention span, so those 10 minutes, because they're different stories each time, was perfect timing for me.
Yeah, I love an
anthology.
anthology.
And I just really, really liked it, and I definitely want to listen to more. I also think it's like really important that they are supporting artists, and they will continue to support writers during the pandemic, and the fact that they pick 2 a month and fully support you in like the sound and producing of it. That's really cool.
Yeah,
really, really cool.
I think it's probably
something
really good.
To be celebrated.
A good place for lots of writers that haven't got work seen before.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's cool.
Really good, like introductory. Any others?
Any other?
We both listened to Send Nudes.
I didn't love Send Nudes.
It was the first one I listened to.
Yeah, it was the most recent one.
I did chuckle to myself. I did chuckle.
Yeah, it was about a woman's perspective around someone asking nudes, and then she went through previous people that she'd been sending nudes to, and why that relationship was important to her.
Yeah,
and what those pictures meant. And I think that concept, like just those sentences of explaining that, I found really interesting.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the stories I didn't always connect to as much.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a really interesting perspective on kind of this sexualized culture, and that sounds really pretentious, but genuinely I think it was really good at looking at it, where she's walking down the street and this guy FaceTimes her and completely unsolicited is showing private parts of himself, and it's interesting because it sounds like it's fictionalized, but it really is talking about what happens a lot, and that a lot of women experience, that it's so like desensitized to and familiar, that I thought it was really good in a way of like hitting it face on, where she was sharing her emotional connections to the photos and through the stories, and she was like, I don't choose to do this personally, and then matching it with that kind of unsolicited, just not feeling, didn't want to know pictures, which I liked how they.
And I think thinking back to
that.
it, I like the different relationships that she sort of shows. That she'd had one where that her partner was very, very attractive, but not capable of providing any other sort of emotional connection that she needed, and she was trying to make it work in her head because she was so physically in love with him. And then another time when she was very, very compatible with someone who she was sending her nudes to and having that relationship, but he wasn't emotionally compatible with her at all. And that those
Really
relationships were really I the more you're talking about it, the more I'm realizing it was probably one of my favorites. I think for me that one, Breach, and Stuff, which you didn't like as much as I did. I think those are probably my favourites. There's just one more I was going to say. I liked the number. Where's it gone? I had it ready to say. Shadows Burning was quite nice. It was kind of a take on Assassin falling in love with the person they're meant to assassin vibe, but with some poetry and some gayness, which we love. And so yeah, I think that one's quite good.
Cool. So let's move on to our last little segment where we give you what we're going to be discussing next week. And I don't know if you have seen this, but in the theatre world, over the past year and a half, a lot of theatres have been fundraising for the arts, and there is this big kind of organisation and charity called The Show Must Go On. And loads of people have been contributing to this, and they have just released, which is a full show on YouTube. It is completely free to watch, but you can donate to the sponsor Theatre Support Fund, It is a show at the Palace Theatre, and it is essentially just a whole load of West End and musical theatre performances spread over a 2.5-hour YouTube video. And for me, who loves musical theatre, I am very excited to watch, and that's kind of why I said this, because I want to watch it. And so you can go donate if you're in a position to, and it's just a really good way of continuing the support for the arts, where obviously we have as a industry really struggled during this pandemic. So I think that's really cool, and I'll see if there's a few snippets on what's included.
Oh.
I know, I was gonna
Loud.
show.
Put it on mute.
So they've got
Trying to look for someone I'd be excited about.
6,
Lion King,
Mary Poppins, Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, Pretty Women,
some
Tina
big
Turner,
tunes.
Mamma
Matilda.
Mia, Back to the Future,
Oh, I'm
Book of
excited to see
Mormon,
that.
Come From Away, Matilda, Everyone's Talking About Jamie, Les Mis,
I-
Phantom, Wicked, Prince of Egypt, We Will Rock You. That looks so good!
Okay, go back to Prince of Egypt. Go back to Prince of Egypt. Who last time did I say was a performer that I'm obsessed with and love? There she is, Christina Alado. Whoop whoop! Can't wait for that. And lots
amazing.
of. I keep on thinking I'm not a huge musical theatre person.
It's gonna be
And then I hear
so
those
good.
names, and there's so many in there that I'm
It's gonna
like,
be so
yes,
good. I'm so
Come From
excited
Away.
to watch. I love Come From Away. So that is what we're going to be talking about next week, and I'm going to be very excited. It's a long one, but if you go onto the link, they break it down per song. So if you just want to listen to a few songs, then do that. We wanted to try and obviously offer you a range of theatre. So we have short films, we gave you Shakespeare, we gave you podcasts, and this is our musical theatre time. Yes! So thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
We will be back at the same time next week, so slightly earlier. We're going to be at 5:30.
Sorry, everyone.
It's a really positive thing.
This guy's full.
So we will see you next week, and everyone will have watched. The show must go on.
I'm excited.
Woohoo!
I didn't realise I was going to be excited, but I'm excited for that one.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next time.
The show must go on.
Bye.
Oh no.